built this city. We built this city on rock and...
So, welcome back to Towns. Me and Velerious. Hello, Velerious.
Ronald's dead.
Ronald's dead. I'm afraid he is. I'm afraid Ronald has died. Due to just general failure of the way that the sieges work. It couldn't be helped. There was no way to really save him. So yeah, that's buggered that up.
And no one was doing anything because everyone was mourning over our lost hero.
I know. Unfortunately, not a lot of work's getting done. We might have given them a bit too much mining to do, but hopefully they're gonna get it done.
Everyone just is slowing down now.
I know. It's like they've got no energy. They literally can't be arsed. But most of them are equipped. We do need 2 more breastplates.
Becoming peaceful in the times of Derpsville.
Let me order 2 breastplates for the new guys.
Oh, them new guys. They're so beautiful in their red hats. Well, one has red hat. The other guy I can't really be asked for.
Little red shirt, says they.
Simon Le Pew or something. I can't remember. Simon Le Poitevin.
Simon Le Poitevin, I think it is. Poitevin.
Stupid name.
Alflos is just chilling.
Oh man, if we could rename.
What is Alflos?
If we could rename people.
His task is move.
It seems to be a little bit laggy.
Yeah, I'm wondering if... Well, I mean... I was going to say I'm wondering if our save's starting to corrupt for playing so long, but that can't be the case because I've seen people with massive towns that don't seem to be having the same problems we have.
Unless we've done something that you're not meant to, and that's the reason why it's going a bit buggy.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe they get slow with more shit on the floor, and we've got quite a lot of shit on the floor.
Maybe.
We've got green slime galore,
but
goblin head
they've
galore.
been really derping up the roofs, haven't they, recently?
I think it's just like weird bit of lag in the game.
Maybe.
It does seem to be kind of.
They've still not made a grave for him yet either, so that we're looking at a potential ghost now because they can't be arsed, Vel. They can't be arsed.
Does it say in the tomb that you need human remains?
Yeah.
I thought it just said 2 stone.
No, look. Human corpse or human remains.
Oh, right, yeah. And 3 stone.
Mm.
Weird.
So hopefully they're gonna get on that.
Hopefully. Probably not. You're looking at towns here.
They've not built the statue either. I'm disappointed in them, really, to be honest with you, Velerious. They've not been pulling their weight over the last few episodes.
We've got heroes just sat in the market. Nothing much for them to do.
There's no roofing coming on. They're eating all the bread and not actually doing any work.
There should be a thing on this, like rations.
I think it's about time we got some Polish builders in to just get the work done, because that's what they do, Velerious. The Poles, they don't mess about.
Yeah.
They come over, they build shit, they bugger off. Everyone's happy.
Technically, the buggering off part doesn't really happen.
Well, yeah, generally
they just integrate themselves into society until eventually you're there with a Polish mayor who goes, "Now everyone who's not Polish must build."
They slowly invade. I mean, this is what we were saying to Pinky last night, who's one of our Polish friends. Is we're on to him. We know what he's up to. Slowly sort of infiltrating the country, person by person.
Sending them over here one at a time.
Yeah, it's an invasion. And we're not going to stand for it. So yeah, it's war on Poland from now on.
When a baby is born in Poland, it's given a different date as well, and this date is when it has to move to England to steal jobs, or move to Derpsville, more like.
Move to Derpsville. Take the best room. That's maybe Gandalf is a Polish name.
No, that Simon one definitely is.
Simon.
That's why he instantly said, "That's my room."
Simon Lepolak.
What's that?
So,
Flames attack.
Yeah, I gave him a fire wand.
Well, that should have been Gandalf's.
So he's strolling around bare-chested.
Both of them are at the moment, unfortunately. But we can't wear Ronald as a chest piece.
Hopefully he's going to get some work done. Hopefully he's going to do some building.
Can we wear like bone armour?
I think so.
It's not very good though. It's just very decorative.
Yeah, you can wear bone armour. It's just it's not very good. The heroes, most of the heroes are wearing bone armour.
Oh yeah. Can't see it on heroes.
Although we've got
that's
boots of haste on 2 of them.
How hard would it be to actually give, view of these things on the heroes?
Probably not that hard, really. But considering they couldn't even be arsed with the market roof textures, you can tell that they obviously thought, well, fuck this for a game of Trousers Velerious. We've done it for the townies, so let's not bother with the heroes.
We've done it for the lulz.
Yeah, we did it all for the lulz.
I watched a movie recently.
Oh, somebody's put in the old cupboard in Gandalf's room there. Gandalf's room now is amazing. Quite frankly, that's the most badass room in Derpsville.
I was watching a movie recently called Smiley.
Smiley.
Have you heard of it?
Nope.
There's YouTube people in it.
All right.
So I was all like, yeah, this sounds great.
Anyone I'd know?
Yes. Tobuscus.
I don't know him.
Technically, you've heard of him.
I know, but I don't.
There's also Shane Dawson, which is like a massive YouTuber.
Yeah, I don't really know him either.
And those are like, I think, the only 2 YouTube people. I don't know, there probably was more. But the problem was, the movie was not that amazing.
Yeah.
And it ended up with a like really kind of weird ending, which then made you think, well, this wasn't worth my time. Although, to be honest, I've watched some weird things recently. I watched Ninjas vs. Vampires.
What's that? Is that a film or an anime?
A film. And one of the vampires grabs a girl, then proceeds to push her again and say, "Nummies."
Oh yeah, you were on about this the other day. Oh, they built the statue of Ronald.
Oh, they finally got it up.
So there we go. There's the statue of Ronald. We can't name it or anything
Ah.
because that would be far too complicated. And there's his grave. There's Ronald's grave.
Now I just need a sign that says, "Here lies Ronald."
So here lies Ronald.
We need to build a badger
The
farm
last
next
of
to it,
the,
spewing out badgers all into the graveyard.
The last of the Vieupont, which is the didn't we say that was French for Old Bridge? Ronald Old Bridge?
I don't know.
Something like that.
I remember saying he was a badass numerous times.
A bit of roofing got done there. That's nice.
I remember us joking about the fact that he'd never die.
I know, but just goes to show you, it's everyone can die. Everyone can die, even Ronald. No one is safe.
It's kind of like the feeling
No
of
one's
when
immortal.
a pet hamster dies, and like when it's your first pet hamster that's died, you kind of like, oh god, that's awful. And when it's the second hamster, you kind of still have that downy feeling, but not as much so as you did for the first one. And like it kind of strikes me that if Ronald had died before the green-hatted alpha lost, I would have been majorly, massively upset.
I mean, I'm still upset.
Yeah, I'm still upset, but just not as much as like Green Alpha Lost died, because I think that was our first kind of.
Yeah, Green Alpha was
Yeah.
the first major casualty, wasn't he, out of the crew?
And he kind of died in a
Although-
humiliating way.
We've picked up new people. I mean, we've got Fourth
Yeah.
Wind and the new Gandalf. I'm almost tempted to say we should get Fourth Wind a hat, and make him into the hat crew. But first, let's get these guys some spider breastplates on. So now
Yes, they
they're
need to
fully
look
armed.
sexy.
They're not going to dick about. So hopefully, there'll be fewer casualties now. Now that everyone's geared up, as it were.
Although I don't know, I mean, that badger hat, it served Ronald well, to be honest. He took down like 4 of them.
I know,
before
he did. He fucking credit to him, man. He stood his ground.
I
Didn't he?
instantly had a thought that he would be like kind of, Sukun and Ridley.
Yeah.
Where Ridley just
God.
slaughters every opponent that's round him.
That was amazing.
that one
Shall
time.
I tell that story?
Yeah, go on.
So there's a game called Suikoden 2. It's an RPG. It's made by Konami, so obviously it's going to be amazing. You know that. And there's wars in it, and there's a moment in the game where you have a character called Ridley, who's a kobold. He's like a dog man, and he's trapped on his own, separated from your army, and he's getting attacked. And the idea is, it's almost set up so he's supposed to die. And 9 times out of 10, if you're playing through Suikoden, you won't be able to get to Ridley in time to save him, and he will die.
Yeah.
But it is possible to save him. It's not impossible. It's just it's a big part of the story that he dies and his son takes his place. But if you manage to save him, you just get to keep him anyway.
Yeah, he actually stays alive.
Yeah.
And you never get his son.
And so you were playing through Suikoden 2, and you got to this stage, and knowing that, because we've saved Ridley before, we were like, oh, let's try and save Ridley. But it wasn't looking good. The army had a real problem getting over to him, and so Ridley was trying to hold off against about 5 or 6 enemy units. And we were like, it's not going to happen. He's got no chance. It's just, he's going to die before we can reach him. And as luck would have it, every time they attacked him, he not only evaded, but also countered their attack and got a critical.
So he ended up wiping out.
6 times in a row, he took out the entire enemy army single-handedly, just by fluke of the random number generator more than anything else. And it was just legendary, wasn't it, Velerious? And since then, it's like anyone who sort of takes out a bunch of enemies against the odds when they should die. It's a bit of a Ridley, isn't it? It's one of those
bit
things.
of a Ridley moment. But it was kind of like back then, even like amazing. Because, I mean, it was sad when Ridley died.
Yeah.
Because Ridley was like a main kind of character, and he always was in like meetings and such with you, and he was like the head of the kobolds. So any kind of...
Yeah, he was the leader of the kobolds.
Yeah, well, any kind of like input that you'd have from the kobolds would come from Ridley. So obviously him dying, it's like losing a massive kind of character.
But it was a point in the story. There was a reason behind it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It was justifiable in the context of the story. It was to do with him having a plan and pretending to abandon you, basically, in order to give you a shot at this enemy. And the idea was it was the noble sacrifice.
Yeah.
And
you end up...
But it was possible to save him if you were lucky, if you were very, very lucky.
See, in Suikoden as well, you collect like a certain number of characters, so you're meant to get the 108 Stars of Destiny.
Yeah, 108 characters in every Suikoden game.
Which means that when Ridley dies, obviously, you don't have that character. But his son Boris then becomes him.
His son would take his place, and he would become... He was still one of the 108 stars, so you could still get 100% completion, even if Ridley died.
But if you kept kind of like Ridley alive during this, it ended up that he would just keep on that star.
Yeah, you just keep Ridley instead of getting Boris.
Which was much more fun.
Because they did some branching things like this, like... the one of the Stars of Destiny could be one of two people, but only one of two people. So you could recruit one or the other. Yeah. And whichever one you recruited, that would be
I think there was
that particular
the
star.
Ninja Girl Kazumi and the...
Oh, Valeria. Yeah. That was one of the stars. You got either Kazumi or Valeria. You couldn't get both.
Your role for doing the quest was to take one of them into your army, basically. Yeah. And when you picked one of them, they became the 108th star. Mm-hmm. I think there was actually...
It was a clever idea. In fact, Suikoden, the whole series of Suikoden was fucking fantastic. Yeah. There's 5 games, isn't there, with a 6th on the way?
I think the 6 is kind of at the moment.
And the Suikoden 1, 2 and 5 are definitely the sort of the standout games.
3, they tried something new and it didn't really take off.
3 was... And they didn't release in the UK either. Yeah. You have to get either the American or Japanese imports if you want to play those.
When they went to the 4th, a lot of people didn't actually realise that the 4th was even out or anything.
The 4th...
And it doesn't sell as much, really.
Suikoden 4 didn't get as good reviews or anything. People were a bit like... Because it was set 150 years before the other game, so it's a bit more basic.
They all kind of tie in as well. You get characters that are in every single game.
Yeah, the plot is canon amongst all 5, but they're not sequential, they're not chronological. So, like, Suikoden 1 happens, Suikoden 2 happens, Suikoden 3 happens, Suikoden 4 takes place before Suikoden 1.
Well, Suikoden 3
and Suikoden 5.
Suikoden 2.
Because in chronological order, it's 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's like, and the great thing about Suikoden 4, though, was that was the one where they, there was a running joke in the first 2 Suikodens, where in the first game, you were crossing a bridge and had to choose fake identities. And Victor chose for his fake name Stoltenheim Reinbach III. At which point, you as the hero could you had an option of like which name you want to choose, and one of the names was Stoltenheim Reinbach IV. And then in the second game, there's another moment where you have to pick fake names, and again you can choose Stoltenheim Reinbach as your fake name. And then along comes Suikoden 4, set 150 years before the first game, and one of the actual 108 characters you can recruit is Stoltenheim Reinbach himself. Yeah, and that was such a beautiful moment, such a great little bit of lore.
Like, amazing things as well, like there was a character in one of them that didn't seem to age, Jean. And she was in every
Well, this is the thing, there's 2 characters that are in all 5 games. And bearing in mind that all 5 games spans a time span of about 200 years.
Actually, I think Jean's not in 3.
No, she is. She's in all 5, yeah. She might not be a star, but she's definitely in there.
I think she's in there, but she's not a star, because 3 takes place when number 2 does. Yeah. And while you're fighting, you hear things about number 2, like, oh my god, the Highlander army being pushed back and all this crap.
Sort of the point, though, is that 2 of the characters appear in all 5 games, and they manage this in 2 different ways. One of them is Jean, who's a very beautiful woman, and she's in all 5 games, and it's like... So she is over 200 years old. Yeah. And this is the thing, and there's a lot of sort of conjecture about why Jean is 200 years old. Now, she holds one of the true runes, which is one of the things that people say maybe it's owning the true rune that makes her live so long because she's immortal. But also, there's a hint in one of the games that she might not even be human. Yeah. And that's in 3 and 4. No, 3 and 5. In 3, there's a dog that can see Jean's true form. That's what you're told.
Yeah.
And in 5, there's the bath scene where someone says something, doesn't she, about how beautiful she is, and she says, "No one's ever called me beautiful before," which is a bit weird as well.
Yeah.
So there's something about her. Her rune is the charm rune, and there's something about it. It obviously alters her appearance somehow, and also makes her old. But then the other one is Vicky, who is in all 5 games and in Suikoden 5 twice.
No, Suikoden 3.
Suikoden 3 twice.
Because you get young Vicky.
Yeah, there's
and
2
teenage Vicky.
There's 2 Vickys, and the reason she's in all 5 is because she can teleport through time and space.
But the weird thing about Vicky is the fact that as she goes along in her life, she gets stupider.
Yeah, and she doesn't teleport sequentially. This is the beautiful thing. It's like Doctor Who in the sense of when you meet Vicky, it's not always in the right order.
Yeah.
So it's like when you meet Vicky in Suikoden 4, it's set 150 years before the other things, but she's already been through all the other games, sort of thing. And like it's so confusing. You never know like at what point in life Vicky's actually at.
See, I quite liked in Suikoden 3 where they had younger Vicky, who when you spoke to her was so massively like mature.
And this is the thing, and younger Vicky was really clever, and older Vicky's really thick, and sort of the older she gets, the more sort of ditzy she is. And it's like, obviously all the teleporting through time and space is really messing her
Because it was
head.
like in Suikoden 2, when you went, I want to teleport here, she could randomly mess up.
Yeah.
And teleport you somewhere random, like secret destinations.
Oh, yeah, there was secret areas you could only get to by her failing the teleport spell. By the way, the roof is finished, Velerious.
Oh, God.
So what I'm going to do, we need to level this hill. So that's the next job. It shouldn't take too long. It's only one hill, and it's and then we can get some more houses down, get some more citizens, and everything's groovy again.
We still need to build over the back wall as well.
Over the back wall,
where like Ronald died, the house is there because things can just crawl in through the back door. If not, if we had like double, they'd have to go around the front. Yes,
but priority, I want to get more citizens because otherwise it's taking longer and longer to mine out this stone.
Yeah.
Now we really do. We need the manpower because it's going to start taking ages to do anything at this rate.
See, they did do.
So we do need to get on the case here and get this done.
I was just thinking then they did do different Suikodens as well with like DS and such.
Yeah, there was
they were really weird.
There was some spin-off games that are non-canon that don't follow the main storyline. But the actual 5 main games are just amazing. Some of the best RPGs.
The first, the second, and the fifth were brilliant.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 5 are the standout ones. Although I've got a lot of love for Suikoden 4. Partly because of the Stoltenheim Rhinebeck thing.
I had a lot of love for Suikoden 3.
And partly because Ted's in it again.
Yeah.
It fills out the Ted story from the first game, which is just like... It's so nice, because Ted's another one who's time-travelled. And in the first game, he's about 150 years old as well.
There is another one as well,
and
actually.
You get to find out that he actually has travelled through time.
This was a spin-off and only released in Japanese.
There's a boat on wheels in the market, Velerious.
Okay.
I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. They appear to be selling wooden shit. So,
Vikings. That's what they are. They're Vikings. They've come to pillage our wood.
No, I think it's the Swedish Velerious, because... I mean, this is some IKEA shit going on.
I'm going to say so. It's IKEA.
So IKEA has been set up in the market. So that's nice. That's nice. Flat pack furniture for all.
There was a character in Suikoden 3.
There's a cow on the roof.
There was a character in Suikoden 3
that
he came in. He kind of got his own spin-off series basically because everyone liked him.
Would this be Luke?
No, it was Nash. I think he was called.
Oh,
the thief.
Is this the guy who was in the Suikoden Dentetsu? Was it, or was it Suiko Gaiden? The two sort of
Suiko
Japanese
Gaiden,
only.
Yeah. Anyway, basically, when you go through that, he's travelling from the Suikoden 3 realm to the Suikoden 2 realm, and he meets up with like kind of the people from there, but also meets Ted.
Yeah.
But that kind of screwed everyone over because they were like, well, hang on a minute, Suikoden 2 takes place after Suikoden 1, yet Ted is alive in this Suikoden.
But Ted is, as we know, Ted has travelled through time, so it's like... You can justify it. You can always justify it with the time traveller. That's what made Vicky so good. That's how Vicky's in all 5 games. And yet, you know, for all you know, she could literally... The entire events of those 5 games could take space over 1 week for Vicky, for all we know. It could be that instantaneous sort of thing. But yeah, but it's weird, especially the young Vicky thing, because it's like... you know, why she got no parents or anything?
That was a weird one.
It was. But it was such a good game. This is the beauty of it, because it's like, when I first started telling people about Suikoden, I was like, oh, there's 108 characters. They were like, well, that sounds shit. Are they all just like palette swapped? You know, is it like Mortal Kombat
like,
where you've got all the different ninjas, like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, that are just the same but a different colour? And I was like, no, genuinely, there's 108 different characters that are all like distinct and unique and got their own little story and their own little style and everything.
So the other thing I enjoyed was,
it's incredible.
at the end of every Suikoden game, it tells you what the characters did.
Assuming you recruited them and they hadn't died, you got an ending for every character. There's only a small bit of text for each one, but still.
It might have been something important, like something they might have liked to do during the game. They mentioned it to you. So, like, I think we got a kung fu guy in Suikoden 2.
Well, one of the things is
Satoki or something, I think he was called.
The woman Hellion took over from Leknat as the seer.
Yeah.
And yet, mysteriously in Suikoden 2, Leknat was still the seer, and that was confusing, because really it should have been Hellion, and I don't know whether that was something they messed up, or whether it was, or whether Leknat stayed on as seer as well, whether it was just two seers.
So the thing is, though, it's like...
But there was other things as well, like Zerasi in Suikoden 5 with the Star Rune, who could see the 108 Stars of Destiny, and she's the only character other than Leknat that has ever been able to see the all 108 Stars of Destiny. That's
the one thing about Suikoden 5 that I didn't really like that much, that we got our true rune quite late in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of preamble, isn't there? There's the prologue, as it were, before you start recruiting. You've got a good 20 hours of gameplay before you even start recruiting the Stars of Destiny.
And I quite liked kind of like having my true rune and be able to just play around with it a bit.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, that.
And also, like, Suikoden 2, the true rune was a shield rune that kind of like guarded you.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it was like, well, that's all well and good, but I kind of would have liked the better true rune, really.
No, but the beautiful thing of that was it was based on an actual Japanese story. It was the legend of it's either Masamune or Murasame, and it's the sword versus the shield sort of thing. It was
of which basically the two protagonists,
yeah, but it's what you would also think of as, you know, the phrase when the unstoppable force meets an immovable object, and this is the sort of thing. It's a Japanese legend of the best sword in the world and the best shield in the world, and you know what happens when the best sword in the world strikes the best shield in the world.
Second that.
Yeah, and that's what that was about, because the enemy in that was your childhood friend Joey, who had the sword rune and you had the shield rune.
But when it came out at the end, when you had to fight him, he usually dicked all over me because the shield room was shit.
Exactly, but the beautiful thing of it was, if you were able to win and also save Joey at the same time, so it was all this sort of, you know, defense is the best defense sort of thing. That, you know, friendship is the best thing ever. The magic of friendship and all
friendship is the best thing ever.
So
everyone knows this.
But there's some good humour as well, especially in Suikoden 2. There was some good humour in Suikoden 2. They did really well with it.
I'd kind of like more games to come out like that, with, like, you know...
I know, it's been a while since I've played it.
You need to delete the scaffolding.
No, I'm leaving it up at the moment.
That bunch, there.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right, we want rid of that bunch. What we're saying, but yeah, it's been a while since I've played an Eastern RPG that was that good. Because you don't often get them that are that sort of game. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of RPGs these days, it's all like fucking Skyrim and Fable. It's all sort of, here you are, here's your guy, 3D world. I kind of like
the idea of, like, if you're going to go after an enemy is going to have an army.
Yeah.
The one person defeating an army kind of, like, spoiled it for me. Yeah, you may have magic.
The beautiful thing about it was it was turn-based. Yeah. Turn-based combat.
Well, it was kind of like
and it was menu-driven turn-based combat. That was the beauty of it.
It was kind of like Final Fantasy with like the time kind of thing.
But that even Final Fantasy had a real-time element to it, whereas this was you put in your entire guy's goes, and then the turn would resolve itself, and then you'd do it all again.
Kind of like chess. You move one piece.
But again, one of the beautiful things about it was the boss as well, Luca Blight, who wasn't even the final boss in Suikoden 2. He was only like amazing. A halfway boss. But you had to fight him with 3 different groups of people. So you basically had to train up 18 different characters and equip them all, ready to fight Luca Blight. And even then, after you defeated him with these 18 different characters in 3 separate fights, I mean, your hero still had to do a one-on-one duel with him to finish him off.
Well, you could lose the 3 battles as well.
Oh, yeah,
you could win the 3 battles or lose the 3 battles, and either way, progress through.
Yeah. And then you'd fight the final duel against him one-on-one, sort of thing.
Depending on how much you kicked his ass, basically.
Yeah.
Depending on how much health he had.
Would depend on how easy he was to get rid of. They're not taking the scaffolding down, which is a bit strange.
I think it's because harvesting's massively prioritised.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. How's the hill doing? Let's take some more hill off. Oh no, they're still working on the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luca Blight. And Luca Blight was a good evil character as well, wasn't he?
I love the fact of how many people have made stories for Luca Blight now. Saying, like, apparently that his family was killed and that's why he's so screwed up and
Well,
everything.
he killed his own father, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was the thing. He killed his own father so he could become king. Anyway, that's enough Suikoden talk, Velerious. We'll call it there because we're at time. And we'll see you next time, folks. So, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.